Hi everybody, and thank you very much for joining me on my latest video. This is going to be something a little bit different from Beatle Dave. I'm going to be doing an occasional series, and this is going to be part one of the history of rock and roll. Now this came out in between 1981 and 1984, and it was a monthly subscription. You got it from your local newsagents. You would get a record. Sometimes there was single albums, sometimes there was double albums, sometimes, like in this case, it was an album for just one person or one artist. Other times it would have 3 or 4 different artists on it as well. And you also got magazines with it. So you got magazines. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 10 binders with the magazines in them. But the magazines, to be fair, don't really have any correspondence with the LP that came. So that's magazine number 1, but then LP number 1 is Elvis Presley. A little bit of background. I'm not going to go too much into the magazines as such. We're going to concentrate more on the records. Now, a little bit of background. About 18 months ago, I was gifted a record collection off a friend of mine who'd sadly died. I worked with him on, on the buses and things like that. And his son-in-law goes, "Dave, you love your records, don't you?" And I goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, I think Andy'd want you to have these." So there's virtually a whole collection of the history of rock LPs, and it is every magazine that you got, and they're in these quite heavy binders. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much into the magazines. It's more that, the contents on the albums and things like that. Like I say, it did start from 1981, and I think it ran to about 1984. Now, I've got every single one of these albums bar one. So hopefully by the time I come to do the last one, it will be complete collection. I have get a few of them over the past 18 months, because some of them weren't in very good condition. I think they've been put in a loft and things like that. But this is like my tribute to my old mate. And I did say, I always said eventually I was going to do a mini series on it. So sit back and relax. This is going to be part one of the history of rock. So we're going to be, I think I'm going to do them in like batches of 8. Well, the first one's going to be a batch of 8, and let's just see how long it goes on for. Like I say, it went from rock and roll, so it starts off with Elvis Presley. I think the last one is things like Gary Newman and people like that. There's Two Tone, there's Bob Marley and the Wailers, there's the Rolling Stones, there's the Beatles. Virtually everything is in it, but I don't think they ever did one on David Bowie, but I could be wrong. There's the Move and ELO and things like that in it as well. So it should be quite an enjoyable series. So please bear with me, because I will probably make a few mistakes on this, because this is the first one, but it will be over a series of probably months. It won't be like every week. It will just be an occasional series. So we'll start off with the history of rock, volume 1, Elvis Presley. Now, of course, Elvis would have been 90 years old yesterday, so he deserves an LP all on his own, doesn't he? And it is just a single LP. Some are single LPs and some are double LPs. So on this you get Blue Moon of Kentucky, Mystery Train, Heartbreak Hotel, Don't Be Cruel, Hound Dog, All Shook Up, Playing for Keeps, and Jailhouse Rock. Side 2 is Treat Me Nice, Wear My Ring Around Your Neck, I Beg of You, King Creole, One Night, I Got Stung, I Need Your Love Tonight, and A Fool Such As I. And although this was done by a company called Orbis Publishing, it is actually on this one, because it's Elvis and he was signed to RCA. It's RCA Special Products, gets a mention there. So you open it up, everyone is a gatefold, and you will get a brief sort of like history of the artist. So in this case, it's Elvis Presley. And they do all have their own numbers. So this is HRL001, History of Rock LP1, I presume that means. So if I leave that there, you'll see the track listing. I have played the majority of these. I haven't played every one. I don't think I have. I might have played everyone actually by now. and they just come on. All the labels are basically the same. Some are proper LPs, and then some are made up compilations, which you'll see as we go along. So that is side one of the Elvis Presley one. And then that is side two. Very, very nice LP. So Andy was a lovely bloke. That's the chap who passed away. I still work with his son, actually. His son still works on the buses. So, yeah, I feel very, very honoured and privileged to have been given these. And, you know, again, this is something that I will never, ever sell. It's somebody's pride and joy, isn't it? So that is the first one, Elvis Presley. You can buy these pretty cheaply off internet selling sites. Usually go from around £5 upwards. I think the later ones, when they get into the 30s, they're the ones that I don't think sold that many, so they are usually hitting the £40 mark, which is one of them that I've got to get, to be honest. So yeah, so that is the first one, Elvis Presley, and basically it's like his greatest hits of his early years, isn't it? Then we've got the History of Rock Volume 2. So this time, this has got 4 different artists on it. So you've got Bill Haley, Little Richard, Fats Domino, and Buddy Holly. Why Buddy Holly didn't get an LP on his own, I don't know. Oh, and by the way, when that one came out, Volume 1, you actually got a Buddy Holly single with that as well, which I have got somewhere, but I couldn't find it for this thing. So you get Bill Haley and Little Richard on side 1, and you get on side 2, you get Fats Domino and Buddy Holly. So side 1 starts off with Bill Haley with Shake, Rattle and Roll, Rock Around the Clock, Rock a Beatin' Boogie, See You Later Alligator, See You Later Alligator, do 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 do. Saints Rock and Roll, Rockin' Through the Rye, Rip It Up, Don't Knock the Rock, Hot Dog Buddy Buddy, never heard of that one, and Razzle Dazzle. So that is all of the Bill Haley and the Comets ones. Then for Little Richard, oh no, yeah. So for Little Richard, which is side 2 of record 1, you get Rip It Up. So you've got 2 versions of that on the same record, haven't you? Long Tall Sally, of course the Beatles did a version of that, didn't they? Tutti Frutti, She's Got It, The Girl Can't Help It, fantastic song. Lucille, Jenny Jenny, Keep Her Rockin', Good Golly Miss Molly, and Barba Llama Bama. Bama Lama Bama Lou. Bama Bama Lou. I think that's how I pronounce it. Don't know. Told you I'd make some cock-ups, didn't I? So, disc 2, side 3 is Fats Domino. So you get I'm in Love Again, Blueberry Hill, I lost my thrill on Blueberry Hill. Boom, 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 boom. Bear with 1 sec, folks. Hi everybody, sorry about that. My computer's going to switch itself off. So I think we've got on to side 3, haven't we? Fats Domino. So it's I'm in Love Again, Blueberry Hill, Ain't That a Shame. Of course, John Lennon did a version of that, didn't he? Blue Monday, I'm Walking, Maurice, Be My Guest, Walking to New Orleans, My Girl Josephine, and I Want to Walk You Home. And then side 4 is Buddy Holly. So it starts off with That'll Be the Day, Peggy Sue, Oh Boy, Rave On, Maybe Baby, Think It Over, Listen to Me, It Doesn't Matter Anymore, Brown Eyed Handsome Man, and Bo Diddley. Well, of course, the early Beatles, or the Quarrymen, actually did a version of That'll Be the Day, didn't they, as well? So, you know, there's some Beatles connections sort of in the first couple anyway already. So that is all the track listing. And then again, you do get the information on the inside of the gatefold. I mean, why Buddy Holly didn't get an LP to himself, I don't know. I think it's a bit of a shame, to be honest. What would Buddy Holly have done if he'd have, you know, lived a bit longer? Right, so volume 3, again, this is sort of like still staying in the rock and roll sort of thing. You get Jerry Lee Lewis, Cole Perkins, Eddie Cochran, and the Platters. Again, double album. So side one is Jerry Lee Lewis. Whole lot of shaking going on. Fantastic song. Great Balls of Fire. That reminds me of my dad. My dad used to try and sing that when he was drunk, and he always used to mess the words up. Breathless. High School Confidential. Lovin' Up a Storm. What I Say. Sweet Little 16. Milkshake. Mander's Cell. I think that says that. That says 1973. Drinking Wine Subidooey Doo. And Teenage Letter. There's a couple on there I don't think I've actually played this one, thinking about it. Carl Perkins' Blue Suede Shoes. Of course, John Lennon did a version of that on his live piece in Toronto, didn't he? Honey Don't. Matchbox. Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. So Honey Don't, Matchbox, and Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby were all covered by the Beatles, weren't they? Your True Love, Lend Me Your Comb, Bop in the Blues, Movie Mag, Put Your Cat Clothes On, and Wrong Yo-Yo. Eddie Cochran is side 3. Eddie Cochran, fantastic, very, very underrated sort of artist nowadays. So that starts off with Summertime Blues. Well, the Who did a fantastic live version of that, didn't they? Come On Everybody and Something Else. Well, Sid Vicious out, the Sex Pistols did okay versions of them. 3 Steps to Heaven. Hallelujah Alla Verso. Weekend. Cut Across Shorty. 20 Flight Rock. Well, isn't that the song that Paul McCartney played to John Lennon to get in the Quarrymen, if I remember rightly? Skinny Jim and Milk Cow Blues. And then the 4th side is the Platters. So you get The Great Pretender. Well, of course, Freddie Mercury had a massive hit with that, didn't he? You know, in his later years. Only You. Only You. Of course, Ringo did a version of that, didn't he? My Prayer. You'll never know. I'm Sorry. Twilight Time. Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Fantastic record that is. Remember When. Harbour Lights, and You've Got the Magic Touch. So that is all the songs on that one. And again, this is a gatefold. So if you wanted to freeze and zoom in, you could do. I mean, all the spines and everything are good on these. I'm not going to bother getting every record out because all the labels look the same. 1, 2, 3. So now on volume 4. This is a good one. You get Chuck Berry, Gene Vincent, the Everly Brothers, and Sam Cooke. Gatefold sleeve again. So you do get like a little bit of a bio on each artist. So side 1 is Chuck Berry. Excuse me. So you get School Day, Sweet Little 16, Johnny Be Good, Rock and Roll Music. See this? Memphis, Tennessee. A lot of these songs the Beatles did do in the early years, didn't they? Come On. Of course, the Rolling Stones did a version of that, didn't they? No Particular Place to Go. You Never Can Tell. Roll Over Beethoven and Maybelline. Gene Vincent is side 2 with Be-bop-a-lula, she's my baby. Be-bop-a-lula, I don't mean it maybe. Some fantastic songs on here, isn't there, really? Race with the Devil, Blue Jean Bop, Pistol Packing Mama. Who remembers that one? She Little Sheila, Wildcat, My Heart, I'm going home to see my baby, Lot of Lovin', and Dance to the Bop. Everly Brothers. So that's side 3 now. Bye Bye Love. Fantastic song. Wake Up Little Susie. All I Have to Do Is Dream. Claudette. Bird Dog. Till I Kissed You. Kathy's Clown. Walk Right Back. Temptation. The Price of Love. Well, of course, the Everly Brothers were a big influence on the Beatles for the harmonies, weren't they, and things like that. And then side 4 finishes off with Sam Cooke. You Send Me. Only 16, Wonderful World, Chain Gang, Cupid, Twisting the Night Away. Forgot he did that one. Bring It On Home to Me, Another Saturday Night, Little Red Rooster, and A Change Is Gonna Come. So now we'll do volume 5. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think we'll go to volume 8, and then I think that should be long enough for the first instalment of this mini-series. So now we're getting from like the American rock and roll to sort of like more British version of rock and roll. So this is volume 5. So you've got Cliff Richard, The Shadows, Adam Faith, and Billy Fury. Billy Fury, one of the first pop stars to come out of Liverpool. So the Cliff Richard one is basically, a lot of it is Cliff Richard and the Shadows, but then the Shadows get their own side as well. So side one is Cliff Richard with Move It, fantastic rock and roll song. High Class Baby, Mean Street, Living Doll, Traveling Light, Dynamite, The Young Ones, baby, we're the young ones. Lucky Lips, The Minute You've Gone, and Blue Turns to Grey, which is actually a Mick Jagger and Keith Richards song. So then side 2 is The Shadows. The Shadows, if you don't know who the Shadows are, if you live in an American place like that, the Shadows were a lot like the Ventures, or the Ventures were a lot like the Shadows. You know, they had big hits with instrumental hits, although they could sing and everything themselves. So side 2 starts off with Apache, The Rise and Fall of Flingle Bunt, FBI, Frightened City, Genie with the Light Brown Lamp, Wonderful Land, Foot Tapper, Dance On, Diamonds, and Scarlet Horror. Although the last two, Diamonds and Scarlet Horror, are Jet Harris and Tony Meehan, who were the bassist and the drummer at the original lineup of the Shadows. Side 3, Adam Faith, perhaps more known nowadays as an actor than a singer, although he did have some very, very big hits in the late 50s, early 60s. I think he recorded into the 70s, to be honest. He was actually in Stardust, the follow-up to That'll Be the Day film. And he did do a TV series called Budgie in the UK, which some people might remember. So side 3 starts off with What Do You Want? What do you want if you don't want money? What do you want if you don't want love? Poor Me, Someone Else's Baby, Made You, How About That, This Is It, Who Am I, Big Time, The First Time, and We Are in Love. Adam Faith was actually on Parlophone Records as well. I'm not sure if George Martin produced him or not. He might have done. Then side 4 is Billy Fury, Halfway to Paradise. Fantastic song. Colette, 1,000 Stars, Jealousy, I'll Never Find Another You, Last Night Was Made for Love. God, you forget how many like big hits some of these people had, don't you? Once Upon a Dream, Like I've Never Been Gone, When Will You Say I Love You, and In Thoughts of You. Wow. So that is all the track listing there. I will apologise because some of you that live outside the UK might not know some of those songs. So we're getting into like the 60s now, aren't they? It does sort of like go in order, I think, as well. So is that volume 5? So this is volume 6. So this one, you've got Del Shannon, Neil Sedaka, Paul Anka, and Dion. So side 1 is Del Shannon, Runaway, fantastic song. Hats Off to Larry, So Long Baby, Hey Little Girl, Swiss Maid, Little Town Flirt. Could you get away with calling the song that now? Two Kinds of Teardrops, Two Silhouettos, Keep Searching, Handyman. Little known fact, well, I say it's a fact, I don't know if it's a fact or a rumour. When Roy Orbison passed away and the Travelling Wilburys were making, still making an album, they invited Del Shannon to take his place, but he died, didn't he, just before they ever did any recordings. I think I'm right in saying that, but don't quote me if it's wrong. Side 2 is Neil Sedaka, I Go Ape, Old Carol, Stairway to Heaven, which is not the Led Zeppelin song, by the way, Calendar Girl, Little Devil, Happy Birthday, Sweet 16, sha la 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 la, Happy Birthday, Sweet 16, Breaking Up Is Hard to Do, Next Door to an Angel, Let's Go Steady Again, Alice in Wonderland. Side 3 is Paul Anka, Diane, I Love You Baby. Freddie and the Dreamers had a hit with that, didn't they? I Love You Baby. You Were My Destiny, Lonely Boy, Put Your Head on My Shoulder, Put Your Head on My Shoulder. No, I don't. Puppy Love, It's Time to Cry, Love Me, Warm and Tender, Esco, Remember Diane. And then Dion, A Teenager in Love, I Wonder Why, Where or When, Run Around Sue, The Wanderer, Little Diane, Love Came to Me, Sandy, Come Go With Me, Lovers Who Wander. Track list in there. And for saying these were made by a publishing company who were more well known for making magazines and books and things like that, you know, the sound quality on these is absolutely amazing. Now we've got volume 7, big 7. So now we're back to the 60s in the UK. So you've got the Hollies, the Searchers, the Kinks, and Manfred Mann. I think this is probably one of the best ones that's in this, in my humble opinion. So this is volume 7, and of course all the catalogue numbers are the same. They're all that HRLOO, and then obviously this is volume 7. So the Hollies is side 1. Stay, Just One Look, Here I Go Again, I'm Alive, Look Through Any Window, I Can't Let Go, Bus Stop, Stop, On a Carousel, and Carry On. So that's basically a greatest hits, isn't it? The Searchers, Sweets for My Sweet, Sugar and Spice, Needles and Pins, Don't Throw Your Love Away, Someday We're Gonna Love Again, When You Walk in the Room, Farmer John, What Have They Done to the Rain, Goodbye My Love, and Take Me for What I'm Worth. The Searchers, you know, they didn't really have a very long career in one way, did they? It's about 2 or 3 years. I mean, they were still touring. I think you can still go and see a version of the Searchers today. Right, so side 3 is the Kinks. It kicks off with You Really Got Me, Girl. Fantastic riff in that. All the Day and All the Night, Tired of Waiting, Dedicated Follower of Fashion, Sunny Afternoon, Dead End Street, Waterloo Sunset, Autumn Almanac, Days, and it finishes off with a fantastic Lola. Do you know what Lola's about? I'm not going to tell you. It was a very, just put like this, that song was very, very ahead of its time. And it's a fantastic song. I usually get up and sing that when I've had a few beers at karaoke. Don't sing it very well, to be honest, but I love that song. And we did have a little cat called Lola who sadly passed away a few years ago, and she was only 18 months old when she died. Yeah, so that's always got tugs at my heartstrings as well, that one there. And then Manfred Mann, side 4, Why Should We Not? Sakawo, The One in the Middle, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Stormy Monday Blues, Oh No Not My Baby, Pretty Flamingo, Do What Diddy Dum Dibby Do, Shalalali, and If You Gotta Go, Go Now. So that's the track listing. And I'll show you the gatefold. And then this is volume 8. So this is Otis Redding, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, and Wilson Pickett. So now you're going to more like from the British invasion sort of thing into soul, aren't you? Otis Redding is on side 1. Pain in My Heart, Down in the Valley, My Lover's Prayer, I Can't Turn You Loose, Far, 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 I think that's how I say that, Try a Little Tenderness, Shake, My Girl, Tramp, Dock on the Bay. Fantastic song into Dock of the Bay. Didn't he release that just before he died, if I remember rightly? Then you've got Aretha Franklin, Respect, Baby I Love You, Chain of Fools, Dr. Feelgood. Of course, there used to be a band called Dr. Feelgood in the 70s in the UK. Good to Me as I Am to You, I Say a Little Prayer, Spanish Harlem, Don't Play That Song, Spirit in the Dark, Until You Come Back to Me. Side 3 is Ray Charles, Rock House, Drowning in My Tears, The Lonely Avenue, I Got a Woman, Hallelujah I Love Her So, This Little Girl of Mine, and then What I Say. Side 4, Wilson Pickett, In the Midnight Hour, Don't Fight It, 6345789, Land of a Thousand Dances, Mustang Sally, 99 and a Half, Funky Broadway, Engine Number 9, Don't Let the Green Grass Fool You, and Don't Knock My Love. Again, the spine's nothing for that on these. So again, it's a gatefold. And then we will just have a look at a few of the is this number 1? So that says number 1. So you've got binders for all of the magazines that came with it. But look at that, History of Rock, the year it all came together, and you got a picture of Mick Jagger on it, which has got nothing to do with what that was. Number 2 is got a picture of Bill Haley on, and he was on volume 2, wasn't he? So that sort of like fits. 3, Elvis the early years. Yeah, the Elvis Presley album was number 1, wasn't it? So I mean, they don't actually follow 4, Black Sounds. That's Chuck Berry, isn't it? Isn't that? My Dingaling. That's probably what he's best known for in the UK, believe it or not. He had a novelty hit. 5, Rock Takes Over. Again, you've got a picture of Elvis on it. 6 is Rockabilly Lives. So they've got, some of them haven't got any sort of like connection with the album that's the same number, is it? You know what I'm saying? Nice picture for Cousin Paul there. And then number 7 is Britain Strikes Back. That is a chap called Tommy Steele, who was like early, like skiffle star stroke, the early sort of rock and roll. 8, you've got a picture of Little Richard. I think that's all that goes into in here. That's got Fats Domino and people in here as well. 9, you've got a picture of Jerry Lee Lewis. Although we haven't got onto that number 9 yet, have we? And these were 70 pence. I think, I'm sure that if you got the LP as well, it was more than 70 pence. I think it was 70 pence just for the magazine, if I remember rightly. And then if you had the record, you had to pay extra for that. 10, lovely picture of Buddy Holly on the cover. There's a famous photo of him without his glasses. 11, you've got Rock at the Movies, and there's not an LP called Rock at the Movies. which is a bit strange, isn't it? Of course, Elvis was sort of like one of the first people to make money out of movies as a rock star, wasn't he? And then 12, you've got a picture of the Everly Brothers. So the magazines don't really bear any resemblance to the records, do they? Still lovely to have. I mean, there's lots and lots of pictures and words. What would the words, wouldn't it? Some really, really nice pictures there, the Everly Brothers. If you wanted to buy a whole set of this, which you can do off certain internet selling sites, you'll be talking a few £100 to get all this, and it probably won't have every single album, or some of the magazines could be listed. This could be your teenage daughter, Beat Girl. So there's a thing here for advert or a cinema poster for a film starring Adam Faith, and I didn't even know that Christopher Lee was in it. It was called Beat Girl. So that, I mean, they are worth having. I mean, it's all part of the collection. Like I say, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 volumes of this. But, like, you know, as I've said before, they don't really bear any resemblance to the records. But it is still a fantastic collection to have. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you've got any comments on anything I've shown you, please feel free to, you know, send me a comment. I'm trying my best to answer every comment, but you know, because of my work commitments and things like that, sometimes it's taken me a while to get to them. If you've liked the video and you've got to the end, please leave me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, just think about subscribing. It is free, it doesn't cost you a penny. And one last little special Beatle Dave's Twist and Shout Out. This goes to Beatle Brad in America. So Beatle Brad, if you're watching, I just want to say special twist and shout out to Beatle Brad, because he's actually celebrating 8 years of being in the YouTube community. So well done, mate. Let's have plenty more years of you entertaining us, you know, with all your fantastic Beatles things and everything else you do. You're an absolutely wonderful guy. Although I've never met you in person, mate, it is like I've met but over the internet and through YouTube and stuff like that. You are my Beatles brother, aren't you? And Beatley Tony's my Beatles cousin. So love and peace to you, Beatle Brad. Well done on reaching 8 years of doing high entertaining videos, keeping everybody entertained on YouTube. And that's going to be it. Like I say, I hope you've enjoyed this. Something different. It is going to be, well, depending on the response I get to this, if it's quite a good response, and I will be doing an occasion, you know, this will be like the new mini series I did the David Bowie one a few years ago. This will be a mini series, but it won't be every week, you know, just be now and then. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Peace, love and happiness to you all. Remember, you are the Beatle Dave. Without you, this channel wouldn't really exist. A splendid time is guaranteed for all, and I hope you have had a splendid time watching this video. And I know I've made a few mistakes doing it, but I do all mine live. I don't edit them or anything, so if I make mistakes, it's kept in, because I'm trying to keep it as real as possible. So until the next time, it's Beatle Dave saying cheerio for now, over and out from Beatle Dave HQ. Love and peace to you all.